It's a pretty good win last week. I guess to get the win over your Norfolk must be a pretty big thing for your team going forward this season.
Yeah, it is. We have probably been in a few close ones this year, and all of them could have gone either way. So we're lucky to come out the positive end in two of them, and the other one against Signet could have gone either way as well. So, but obviously New Norfolk lost a few players over the pre-season, but their top dozen is still really good. So we went up there realising it would be a good contest, and to just get over the line was a pretty good result from our boys. And obviously 3-1 to start is we would have taken that at the start of the year. Had you said that would have been the case. We're pretty happy where we are at the moment, but we know we've got a fair bit of work to do as well.
And I think 5 wins last season for you guys. You're already 3 wins into this season. What has been the big improvement for you guys?
Well, I think we've been lucky enough to bring a few players in. Obviously, Jaden Charlton and Liam as a party from Hobart City have been really good for us. But I think as much as that, it's been the improvement from our group as well. We've got guys who have been around the club for a little bit or sort of came last year and probably weren't at their best or sort of a victim of where the side was at last year and so weren't playing great footy, and they've sort of stepped up as well. And I think getting the improvement from those guys has really helped us get in the position we're at the moment.
Where do you think you guys sit at the moment? Obviously, knocking off New Norfolk. Are you in that top 4, or are you just fighting out for finals? Where are you?
Well, we're certainly aiming for finals, but we also understand it is really close up the top. There's the top 3, Claremont, Lindisfarne and Huonville have been good to start with. So they're obviously right up there. And then it's, Signet, Hobart, New Norfolk, Dodgers Ferry, even Sorrel have proved on their day that they're a pretty competitive outfit. So it is really close, and so we've just got to take the wins when we can get them, and we're lucky we've banked a few early. But we also know that there's some teams below us who are pretty good football sides. I mean, if you look at Dodgers, we were pretty impressed with them round 1, and they've only got 1 win on the board, but they're a pretty good football side. So we know that they'll be coming at some point, and obviously New Norfolk and Sorrel as well have been pretty competitive. So it's a pretty close roster, but we're really focusing on trying to make the finals and see where we can go from there.
And the last quarter last week, I think you kicked 2 goals, 7. Was
Yep.
that a bit frustrating? You couldn't close down that game a bit earlier?
Yeah, it was. I think we certainly probably let it get into our heads a little bit. A couple of the shots were pretty easy shots, I reckon, too. And some of the guys that were having shots were probably a bit inexperienced in those pressure situations, and so maybe that's something we need to look at to sort of provide a bit of confidence for those guys and look more at training those pressurised situations during the week, so that when they come up against it in the game day, they're probably going to stand up a bit more.
And moving forward this week, got Claremont, a pretty polished team. How are you going to stop them?
Yeah, well, they are a polished team, and obviously they've brought in a few players over the pre-season, which has made them even better. And they've started really well. So I guess we're excited about the opportunity to come up against them and see what we can do. Up at the TCA, which is obviously great for us. We haven't been up there much this year. We can't train there at all, so we just want to put on a really good effort for our supporters, and I'm confident that our players understand their roles really well and can deliver on Saturday. But there's obviously a fair bit of work we've got to do to stop their big guns down forward. They've also got a really good midfield that runs really well in waves, and a couple of really good defenders, probably undersized defenders who have done well, but also a couple of guys that set up really well from the back. So, we've put in a few things this week to try and stop that.
And without giving too much away, obviously, how do you think you might stop that? Are you going to have run with players, or are you just going to back your own game? And
yeah, look, a bit of both. We'll put a bit of work into those key players from Claremont throughout the middle, and obviously their forward line players as well. But we'll back our own game, and hopefully some of the defensive structures that we put in place can stop that. And they certainly like to set up from down back, and as I said, through their midfield, and that's why they get some really good ball into their key forwards. So we've got to try and stop that. And hopefully we can on a small ground, which is obviously a little bit different to playing at Boyer last week and even at Abbotsfield. So hopefully we've got a few things in place that'll stop their run from down back, and we can cut off the supply.
Just one, Mark. Colts won premiership last year. Has there been any boys out of that team progressing to seniors this year?
Yeah, we've had 2 so far that have come in. Got one in Mark Cripps, who has been fantastic, and you look at him and he's got a pretty small body, but he's come in and the way he plays, it looks like he's played 100 senior games, and we're really excited by that. He's just turned 18 actually, so that's fantastic for the footy club. Will Muscat's been playing as well the last couple of weeks. He sort of plays back and on the wing, so he's got really good wheels and he's a great left footer. So he'll play again tomorrow. So those guys are good. We've got a couple playing in the reserves as well from the Colts Premiership side, and there's still a few playing Colts as well. So we're working on getting all those through, but that was obviously great for the club last year, and hopefully we can see more success this year.
Good for the young ones.
Yep.
So I guess you guys this year, Matt, have been the powerhouse, I guess, of the league so far. What's been the big step up from last season, being in that top 3 to now, probably leading the comp?
I think it's just the attitude of the players coming into this year. Like, we had a really solid pre-season. Obviously brought in a couple of players from elsewhere, Nick Clayton from Norfolk and Potter coming back from Leeton. And the knowledge they've brought to the game, and with the kids coming up through the Colts as well, just the attitude around the club's been really good.
And Hobart this week, who are some of the players you have to watch out with them?
There's 22 players out there you've got to watch out for, but there is a few players that we'll definitely look out for on the day. Like, they like to run and carry and break the lines a fair bit. So yeah, there is a couple out there that we'll definitely be keeping our eye on.
And Sam Reeves been in pretty good form up forward. How do you think you might stop that?
Well, it's going to be tough. He is in some form in front of the big sticks, but we've got complete faith in our backline players that they can step up and do the job.
And I guess you guys last year fell just short. Do you think you guys are the premiership favourites at the moment? Or?
Like Becky said, up the top's pretty tight. You could throw a blanket over the top 4 sides. So I reckon, this year it's the first year in a long time that it's going to be pretty tight up the top. I don't think we're favourites. We're playing a good brand of footy at the minute, and so we just hope we can continue to do that.
Obviously played Ewanville last week.
Yep.
And got home by a couple of goals, but I noticed these quarter by quarter scores were very close throughout the day, so it must have been a very good contest.
Yeah, it was a very good game. Like, Ewanville come up with a really good brand of footy, and there was just a high pressure contest all day, and it was good to see from our blokes that they could step up and handle that kind of pressure and come out on top at the end.
Nathan Brown kicked 5 last week.
And he did. He's hit some form again. He's let us all know about it.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it. All good.
Thanks, Dennis.
Thank you.
Cheers.
All the best for tomorrow.